Hey guys, good evening. It is John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur, and you have just tuned into IFYL Inspirations for Your Life. I'm glad that you popped in. If you're new here this evening or whenever, launch your camera app and you're watching us, point over the QR code like so, touch the yellow ellipse. You'll get my link tree as easy as that. If you're not watching us, but you are listening to us only, well, then be sure to go to believemeachieve.com for more of my amazing creations. Great to see you, RFM. Nice to see you there. You're definitely going to want to check out my latest article that just published, which is actually How and Why to Be Humble. Great to see you there. So, again, thank you so much. Whether you are here at 11:43 p.m., 11:43 a.m., 3 a.m., 3 p.m., 6 a.m., 6 p.m., potato, whatever it is, I appreciate that you make a time to listen to my great show to impart some great knowledge for you. And so, thanks so much, RFM. And so, the thing I want to tell you is that, making the choice to impart knowledge into us will make us a better person. That is really important. And it's a step of being humble, by the way. So let's get right into the master topic, everyone. We start on Saturday, we roll through the week on Friday, which we got one more day to go there. And so here's our master topic. Are we ready? It's How to Be Humble, Series 2, second year, show 33, episode number 6, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. All right, so let's talk about what tonight's about. So we got some more stuff to talk about when we talk about being humble and humility. So why don't we talk about something that's really important? It's called what is bragging? So let's say bragging, according to Merriam-Webster, because that's probably the best way to explain it to you. So bragging, according to Merriam-Webster, is a pompous or boastful set of statements, arrogant talk or manner, really cockiness, like I'm king of this. So what's the difference between bragging and confidence? Okay, so confidence is a noun, and it's a feeling or consciousness of one's power or reliance, according to Merriam-Webster, of one's circumstances, faith or belief that one will act in a right, proper, or effective way, the quality or state of being certain, certitude, the relation of trust or intimacy, a reliance or another's discretion, support, especially in a legislative body, or a communication made in conference, such as a communication, made in confidence, which is a secret. And so let's talk about sharing. So what is sharing? Because I think this is going to get a little bit challenging. So sharing is a little different. To partake, use, experience, or occupy or enjoy with others, according to Merriam-Webster, it's a verb to have in common, to post, distribute on the internet, to post on social media, to grant or give a share, or to tell thoughts, feelings, experiences to others, often used with, to divide or distribute. I'm talking about meaning three, to tell thoughts, feelings, experiences, etc. So when we brag, like, hey, I got this car, or I got 12 cars, that's bragging. Or, I'm the best at this. I mean, you just know that. Or, that I'm the only one that's going to be able to get tickets to the front row for this new concert because, I have connections. So that's bragging. Confidence is when you know you're going to do something and you believe in yourself, right? Sharing. So if I share with you and say, hey, how you doing? Was your day? Well, my day was great. I actually won the race yesterday, and I was really happy about that. Yes, I do know who LeBron James is. Excellent question. So when we think about sharing, somebody might ask us, "Hey, did you win the marathon?" Yes, I did win the marathon. Thanks so much for asking. It was a lot of fun. And then drop it, and you just kind of chill with it. So sharing is when you tell a story, even if the story makes you, let's say, go top of mind for a second or two. You're not boasting. You're sharing a story. Your intent is not to brag. Your intent is not to put yourself in limelight. Maybe you say, well, gee, people say, like, a lot of times I go to networking meetings, they say, what are your celebrations? Well, my celebration this week was I wrote this article, or my celebration this week was I had this great guest, and it was a lot of fun. That's not bragging. That is sharing. So when you're trying to express information to inform others, that is not sharing. Well, it depends. So, "Hey, look, I got a new car." That's not bragging. It's, "Hey, look, I got this new car and I keep shoving it in your face." That's bragging. Like, "Hey, I just got a new car yesterday. I want to share with you." That's sharing. But if I keep shoving it in your face, like, "Hey, I just got this new car. Hey, I got this and it's got this," and I keep going on, or, "Hey, I got 7 new cars." That's bragging. When you share something in your life as part of a story, that is not bragging. But when you try to jam it down someone else's throat, you try to make someone else look bad, or you try to raise yourself up higher than others, that's considered bragging. So you're right. If I just got a new car yesterday, "Hey, I got a new car. Just want to share it with you." That's not bragging. But then let it drop. Does that make sense? Okay. Sorry if that was a little confusing, but I think a lot of people, um, they brag, or they boast because they have this big ego, and it could be their family, it could be their friends. Like, "Hey, they got to be this." Half the time when people brag or boast, I've learned it's about things that they don't really have and things that they're probably not even going to ever get, but they keep bragging about it. They keep boasting about it. We had a kid in my class. He's like, "Oh, my father always gets the latest car." And he didn't. He had a car that was 2 or 3 years old, but it didn't matter, but he kept boasting about it. And so then when we finally met his father was really nice. His father was really humble, but he was living this other life that, "Oh, my father's got this latest car." And he did have a great car, but it wasn't the latest model. He even said, "Hey, this is it's a 2-year-old model. It's a great car. I get a car every 2 or 3 years." And so he was being very humble, but his son, at the other end, was not being humble. So I hope that shares a little bit. So why do people dislike braggers? That's a great question. Why do people dislike braggers? Well, people dislike braggers because it puts them in an awkward position and they don't know what to do. Um, when somebody brags or boasts, it means that you're not good enough for them. If they keep doing it, that's boasting and bragging. And if you were good, you wouldn't keep hearing about it. Okay. Um, like somebody keeps talking about their IQ and they keep mentioning over and over again, that's putting you down. Another one, ladies, mostly guys do, but ladies do too. I slept with X people. And the reason they do this is because they're insecure about their sexual ability. So they have to make themselves seem greater than they are. And usually, what I found out is when they said in college that, I slept with, the whole classroom, I slept with 100 people. They might have slept with 1 or 2, or they might have slept with none. It was this whole premise that they were trying to make themselves seem better than what they really were. So, how do you deal with someone who never stops bragging? Um, you can say, "Hey, James, I appreciate you sharing with us about your new car or about your skills. And I was just curious. So, what did you think about the football game last night?" You could change the topic. You could boast a little about yourself, but that's not really the correct thing to do. Switching the topic is the best thing. I'll share a quick story about another person bragging. "Hey, Brian, I'm not sure if you know this, but I have this friend of mine who just got home from college. And I got to tell you, he came over my house to, play some video games. And we had some pizza. And he started talking about, how he was the top of the football team, which was great. And then he kept talking about how many games he had, and he just wouldn't shut up. And then he talked about how his father bought him this car and how, he was the only one, his family, that got this most expensive car. And then he went on to talk about his girlfriend, how, everyone in the class wanted to date him, but, he was like really picky and he only wanted this one girl. And I was like, it was a shame because, I really liked this guy. And I couldn't wait to get like out of his company. And so, well, what'd you do? I told him, look, I like hanging around with you, but if you're gonna keep, shoving this stuff down my throat, I don't want to hang with you. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's too bad. And that other person might realize what you're doing. And they'd be like, oh, and they may not say anything, but like, oh, and then they quick like change their track. So I think that's pretty cool. The quick story routine is really cool. Um, I once read, let's say you could say something like, whenever people say that they've been with X people on dates or slept with X people, the studies have shown that they've maybe been with one or none because they're just trying to, impress their sexuality, their insecurity of their sexuality to other people so they feel secure. The other thing you do is just walk away and let go. Everyone needs compassion, right? But not everyone needs to be our friend. So if it's not going to work out, hey, don't lose sleep over it. Don't be sad. Just walk away. That might seem a little hard, but it's tough love. And you're not a punching bag. You're not here for that purpose. And if you're going to take that abuse, that's not something you deserve. A lot of times, braggers, they brag. And when they brag, it eventually would backfire on them. People who brag may think it makes them look good, but it will often backfire. And research has proven this time and time again. The other thing that happens about braggers is that they lose friends. Nobody wants to help them because, they're like the greatest of everything. So, how could I, just me, humble me, be able to help big you, who's like way up here? I'm way down here. And I don't even think I have anything I could even share that might help your life. So, I don't think we should even hang around anymore because, you're way too big for me and I don't want to cramp your style. Pretty cool, right? So, being humble is something you make a choice to do. And I found that people that are not humble become humble when they start to realize they're losing friends, when they start to realize that they're losing respect from others. And you know what? It also takes a toll on your mental health as well as your well being. Amazing, right? So, there's something called a humble bragger. It's a self compliment that is like tied up in a complaint. Um, and it's an interesting thing, and people think it's okay, but it really isn't. So my advice here tonight is if you want to share someone thing with someone, feel free to do that. But don't think that just because you're telling a story means that it's okay to brag. So bragging doesn't mean you told something to someone once. It doesn't mean that you expressed, let's say, the fact that you were the best at something because maybe you won an award. That's great. But don't make that every little thing of the day. Remember, you're not important as they are. Let them be more important. When you take over the stage all the time, nobody wants to hang with you. Nobody wants to be with you. I mean, I remember guys in high school like, oh yeah, I dated this girl and I dated that one and I dated this person, I dated that one. And the funny thing was when we actually talked to the girls and said, yeah, well, that he's been all around, and the person said, yeah, he's been around, hasn't he? Well, he's been, and she came back and said something that really put him in his place. Yeah, you've been so around that when we actually got to do it the first time, you were totally clueless. So, yeah, you've been around, so around that you didn't even know what to do. Now, that sounds low. But hey, somebody who's bragging like that is bound to get that rebound to punch them in the face when they're looking for it or when they're not expecting it. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I am John C. Morley. Of course, it gives me great pride, privilege and honor to be with you again this amazing evening, a few minutes before midnight. I hope you will definitely like, love, support the video. Go to believemeachieve.com, click on that link, help keep our content free, and make the choice. Buy my team and I a cup of coffee, a bowl of fruit, or a scrumptious bowl of delicious desserts. Either way, we'll be grateful with those pennies and dollars. We'll invest into new hardware, new technology, new equipment, new software, even new facilities to give you the most jaw-dropping, impactful content to make your life the best it can be. I hope you guys have an amazing night. And remember, if you're humble, great. If you're not, it's never too late to start embracing the world of humility and how being humble might just earn you more respect, more friends, and even impart more knowledge to you. Have yourself a great rest of your night, and I'll see you tomorrow.